Welcome to the deep dive.
Mm.
This is where we take the sources and notes you send us and really try to distill them into the core insights.
Yeah, pull out the good stuff.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into something I think a lot of you will recognize. The free rider problem.
Mhm.
It might sound a bit academic, maybe, but we're going to unpack how actually it shows up everywhere in daily life.
Yeah.
From tiny interactions right up to global issues.
It really does.
You've given us some great material here, and I'm really keen to explore how this pretty fundamental idea kind of shapes our collective world.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how this seemingly simple idea really underpins so many complex challenges that societies face.
Right?
It's not just theory. It describes this fundamental tension in how we cooperate.
Yeah.
How we fund essential public services, the dynamics in small teams even. The free rider problem shows how people benefiting without chipping in can kind of paradoxically weaken or even destroy the very systems they benefit from.
It applies everywhere, really.
It does, yeah, across all scales.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. Many of you listening probably have a handle on the free rider problem, but maybe for anyone needing a quick refresher on exactly what we mean, what is it? Because we've all felt its effects, I think, even if we didn't maybe put that exact name to it.
Sure. So at its core, the free rider problem happens when individuals benefit from something, could be a resource, a service, some collective effort without paying their fair share of the cost or, without contributing properly.
Okay.
And the key things here, like our sources highlight, are the characteristics of the good involved. It's typically both non-excludable and non-rivalrous.
Yes, the classic duo. Let's just quickly recap those for everyone because they're really crucial to understanding why the problem even happens, right?
Absolutely crucial. So non-excludable. That just means it's really hard, maybe impossible, to stop people from using the good, even if they haven't paid or helped create it.
Like public radio or something, once it's broadcast.
Exactly. Anyone with a radio can listen. And non-rivalrous, well, that means one person using it doesn't reduce how much is available for others.
My enjoying a nice park doesn't really stop you enjoying it, too.
Precisely. Your enjoyment of a sunset, or a public park generally, doesn't take away from anyone else's ability to enjoy it.
Got it. So if everyone can just benefit without paying, what's the catch? Why is it a problem? It almost sounds, well, too good to be true, doesn't it?
It does sound great on the surface, and that's the paradox, isn't it? The catch is, if enough people think that way and decide to free ride, enjoy the benefits but let others cover the cost, the whole system can just become unsustainable. Because if everyone's waiting for someone else to pay, well, then nobody pays, or not enough people do. When the good or service, it starts to degrade, or it might just disappear completely. It's that classic situation where choices that make sense for the individual end up being really bad for the group as a whole, collectively irrational.
That's such a key point. The individually rational choice leading to a collective mess. It's a real puzzle for societies. Okay, so once you start thinking with this free rider lens, you begin to see it everywhere.
You really do.
I definitely started noticing it more.
Yeah.
And I bet you listening will too. Let's talk through some concrete examples from the sources. They really make it tangible.
Yeah, the sources give some great real-world examples that resonate on different levels. Think about public goods like streetlights. Everyone walking down that street benefits, right?
Yeah.
Safer, you can see where you're going. But nobody gets a bill for the specific light beams they used.
Right. You can't really meter that.
Exactly. So if funding relies only on people voluntarily chipping in and too many people think, someone else will cover it, then the funding dries up.
And the streets get dark. Bad for everyone.
Bad for everyone. It's the same idea with clean air. We all need it, obviously.
See?
But if industries don't cut pollution, maybe because there are no rules or it's costly, or if individuals don't think about their own impact, the air quality gets worse for all of us.
Again, universal benefit, really hard to track who's using, how much, or who's contributing to keeping it clean.
Very hard. And it goes way beyond just environmental stuff, doesn't it? Like, think about something huge like national defense. That seems like a massive example.
Oh, absolutely. National defense is maybe the textbook case. A country's military protects everyone living there, right? Whether you paid your taxes or not.
Yeah.
People who pay their taxes get the protection, but so do tax evaders. You just can't realistically say, okay, only protecting the taxpayers today.
No, it's impossible.
Makes total sense. Then, maybe closer to home, something like public transport. Fare dodging feels like a really direct example.
It is, yeah, very direct, often quite visible too. People hopping on the bus or train without paying. They're relying on everyone else, the paying passengers, to keep the system afloat.
And that has real consequences, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It directly hits the budget.
Hmm.
Might mean fewer buses, higher fares for those who do pay, maybe routes get cut, all because some choose to free ride.
And, okay, the one that probably makes a lot of us cringe a bit inwardly, workplace collaboration. The group project scenario.
Ah, yes, the dreaded group project. We've all been there, haven't we?
I think so. Where you suddenly realize you're doing, like, 80% of the work.
Yeah, and someone else is basically just getting their name on the final report without lifting a finger. It's not just annoying, though it definitely is. It breeds resentment, it can pull down the quality of the work, and it makes people wary of collaborating next time. It's the free rider problem playing out right there in office or classroom.
Okay, so we get what it is, and we see it in lots of places. But let's dig a bit deeper now. Why do people do it? What's the thinking behind free riding, according to the materials you sent us?
Well, the sources point to a few main drivers. The big one is probably rational self-interest, meaning the individual thinks, look, my one contribution, my single dollar, my hour of volunteering, it's tiny compared to the whole cost. It won't make much difference, so why should I bother? I'll just let others handle it.
So it's a calculation almost. My cost versus my tiny impact.
Exactly. It feels rational to them to minimize their personal costs, especially if they think the project will succeed anyway or their contribution won't be missed.
So it's not always malicious, maybe just perceived efficiency from their own perspective.
Often, yes, individually rational, but as we said, collectively damaging. Then there's that factor we keep coming back to, non-excludability.
Right.
If you literally can't stop people from benefiting, even if they don't pay, like with national defense or clean air, then the incentive to pay voluntarily is much weaker, isn't it?
Yeah, why pay if you get it for free anyway?
Precisely. The benefit feels like a given, whatever you do.
And I guess this gets worse in bigger groups.
Yeah.
Where you feel more anonymous.
That's spot on. That's the idea of diffuse responsibility. In a really large group, your personal responsibility feels, well, diluted.
Spread thin.
Yeah. It's easy to think, oh, surely someone else will step up, or my not doing it won't even be noticed. You can kind of mentally offload the burden onto the anonymous others.
It's less about direct accountability.
Exactly. It's about how small you feel your own action is within this huge system.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, do the sources mention situations where maybe it's not purely self-interest? Like, could someone be a free rider without really meaning to be? Maybe they just don't know.
That's a really important nuance, actually. Yes. While we often talk about it as a conscious choice, sometimes it can happen because people genuinely lack awareness.
How so?
Well, they might not understand the true collective cost, or maybe there isn't a clear way to contribute, or no clear communication about what a fair share even looks like.
Like in some online communities, maybe.
Yeah.
Open source software.
Exactly. Someone might use a fantastic free tool every day without realizing the thousands of volunteer hours behind it, not because they're deliberately exploiting it, but maybe because the contribution model is just opaque.
But the effect is the same, right? The resource still relies on unpaid effort.
The effect on the resource, yes, remains the same, regardless of the intent. That's a key point.
Okay, but this isn't just some abstract economic puzzle. It has real serious consequences, doesn't it? Affecting things we rely on, affecting trust.
Oh, absolutely. The consequences can be severe, with ripple effects. A major one is the underfunding of public goods.
Like the streetlights example.
Exactly. Essential things parks, basic scientific research, vital open source software. We mentioned things that benefit loads of people. They might just not get enough support if too many free rides.
So they degrade or never get developed.
Precisely. They degrade, they're underdeveloped, or they might just disappear entirely, which hurts everyone in the long run. It's like that tragedy of the commons idea, but playing out at the individual contribution level.
And I can really see how that would just kill morale, kill trust in a community. Makes future cooperation way harder.
It absolutely does. That leads straight to a decline in collective action. If you keep seeing other people taking advantage, not pulling their weight, you get cynical, right?
Yeah, you think, why should I bother?
Exactly. Why should I put in my time or money if others are just going to coast? And that reduces your willingness to contribute next time. It creates this really damaging downward spiral.
Making it almost impossible to get anything done together eventually.
It can, yeah. And the ultimate endpoint, this sort of worst-case scenario,
Is if everyone just gives up. Everyone tries to free ride.
That's it. System collapse. If everyone tries to maximize their own benefit by not contributing, the whole thing just falls apart. The community garden gets overgrown because nobody pays the maintenance fee. The service disappears.
Which really brings up that critical question you mentioned. How do we stop this from happening? Especially when it seems so rational for individuals to try and get away with it.
Right. Well, luckily, societies and groups haven't just thrown up their hands. We've developed quite a few ways to try and counter the free rider problem.
Okay, what are some of the main strategies the sources talk about? And do they have downsides too?
Yeah, they definitely have trade-offs. The most common one is probably government intervention using taxes and laws.
Right, making people pay.
Essentially, yes. Governments use taxes which are compulsory to fund those big non-excludable things like defense, schools, roads, sanitation, ensures everyone contributes, whether they want to or not.
And laws.
And laws with penalties. Fines for dodging fares on the train, for example. They directly discourage the free riding behavior. It's kind of the universal fallback, maybe not always popular, but it gets the job done for essential services. The free rider's unavoidable bill.
Okay, so force contributions or punish non-compliance. What about changing the good itself, making it less free?
That's another approach. Privatization or making the good more excludable.
Turning it into a business, basically.
Sometimes, yeah. Or just finding ways to restrict access. So think toll roads instead of free highways. You pay, you use it. Or gated communities, only residents who pay the fees get the benefits of the security or maintained grounds.
But that has obvious downsides, right? Like not everyone can afford the toll or the fees.
Exactly. That's the main trade-off. It solves the free rider problem by excluding non-payers, but it can create inequality and reduce access for people who can't afford it.
Okay. What about in small groups, where it's not the government or a big company? How do communities manage it?
Well, there, social pressure and norms can be incredibly powerful.
Like shaming.
Sometimes, yeah, or just the risk of it. In smaller, tighter groups, maybe a volunteer organization, a shared workspace, free riders are usually pretty visible.
Harder to hide.
Much harder. And they might face gossip, being excluded, maybe even direct confrontation. Peer pressure pushes people towards fairness because they want to stay in good standing with the group. Reputation matters a lot.
That's a really strong force, reputation. Often underestimated, I think. Any other ways to encourage people to contribute rather than just punishing non-contribution?
Definitely. Using incentives is another key strategy.
Like rewards.
Yeah, offering perks for contributing. Could be tax breaks for charitable donations, public recognition for volunteers, special access, other rewards. The sources mention platforms like Wikipedia or open source projects. They work partly because contributing builds your reputation, maybe enhances your skills, gives you status within that community.
So it's not just pure altruism driving those.
Not entirely, no. It's often a mix. People contribute for status, for learning, for community respect. So what's really interesting is how these solutions often blend different motivators, don't they?
Yeah.
You've got fear of punishment with laws, desire for reward with incentives, and the power of social standing or shame. It's using a mix of human psychology to get us to do what's best for the group, even when pure self-interest might pull us the other way.
That mix is fascinating. Okay, let's try and tie this all together with that simple analogy from the sources, the one I think we can all relate to, maybe painfully sometimes. The group dinner bill.
Ah, yes, the group dinner. Perfect illustration.
So walk us through it one more time.
Okay. Imagine you're out with friends. Everyone agrees beforehand. Let's just split the bill evenly. Simple enough.
Sounds fair.
But then maybe one or two people start ordering the lobster and the fancy cocktails, knowing that their expensive choices will be partly subsidized by everyone else when the bill is split.
Ah, they're free riding on the other's more modest orders.
Exactly. They get the expensive meal, but don't bear the full cost. Now, if only one person does it, maybe it's okay. But if everyone starts thinking, well, if the bill's being split evenly, I might as well order the steak too.
Then the total bill skyrockets.
Right. It becomes huge, maybe unmanageable.
Yep.
People who ordered salad feel ripped off and resentful.
And next time?
Next time, maybe fewer people want to come to that dinner. Or everyone orders extravagantly trying to get their fair share. And the whole pleasant, affordable group meal idea is just ruined for everyone.
That's the free rider problem in a nutshell. Individual smart choices wrecking the collective experience.
Perfectly put. It shows how that individual calculation can undermine the whole setup.
That really does make it crystal clear. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main thing for you listening is this. Getting a handle on the free rider problem really helps you see the hidden currents in so many situations around us. From city funding debates to team dynamics at work, even maybe the give and take in your friendships or family. It helps explain why some group efforts succeed and others just fizzle out.
Yeah, it moves you beyond just noticing something's not working to understanding why.
Exactly.
Which then I think leads to the really interesting question. Now that you're maybe more tuned into this, where else might you spot the free rider dynamic? Maybe in places you hadn't considered before.
Like,
Well, think about online communities, who creates the content versus who just consumes. Or big environmental campaigns, who takes action versus who hopes others will solve it. Even maybe subtle things within families or households. Understanding it doesn't just mean pointing fingers, but maybe thinking more creatively about how do you encourage contribution and fairness in those situations too, in your own life, your own communities.
that's a great challenge. The world really does look a bit different through this lens, doesn't it? Thank you so much for sending your sources on this. It was fascinating to explore. We hope this deep dive gave you some powerful new ways to think about it all.
Keep spotting those dynamics.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.